It's been a hot day. It's been a really hot day. So I watered early in the morning. It's afternoon for us now as we're rolling. Whatever time you're watching this, if it's uploaded first thing in the morning, well, it's about 12 hours earlier, 7 o'clock, folks. And I thought I'd touch base on tomatoes. We're talking tomatoes. It is a season. Let's talk top five diseases that affect tomato plants. And I'm looking around at my ones today, and I was going to see if I could find them. One in particular, I hope I don't find. That's Fusarium. So the top of the list. Water damage is probably the most common reason we have these problems. See here, discoloration in the leaves there? That's because, at one stage they were left to dry it for a little bit too long, got a bit hot, and the leaves have just sort of shut down on it there. Well, part of the roots shut down and causes that to discolour on the leaves. There's no physical spore of disease on there present. So that's because of irregular watering. And you'll also get splitting of tomatoes. So if you're finding your tomatoes are growing fast and bigger than you expect them overnight, it's because they're taking up too much water with all the rain we had and the extra watering we're giving them to get through these hot days. They may draw up too much moisture and cause them to split. So careful on the watering. Try and keep a balanced amount of water going through. Don't let them dry out for too long. These are after 37 degrees today, 37 degrees, 38 degrees. They're doing pretty well. I still haven't watered them. That discoloration is from a week ago, not yesterday or today. That damage was done 2 weeks ago. So top of the list, Septoria leaf spot. Now that is basically round spots on your leaves. The leaf goes yellow and you get these little black ringed spots, so they're almost grey or white in the middle. Now if you have a close look at a leaf, let's see if we can find any sort of leaf spot. Come with me. This is not Septoria leaf spot, folks. These are the 6 tomato plants that I put in this planter box that nearly died on me. They went backwards for all sorts of reasons, mainly because the soil was terrible. We've been working with the soil and you can see, look at that. We've actually got good healthy growth now. Look at that there, it's come good. Here as well, all the old growth, you can see the discoloration, almost brown or sort of a silvery burgundy brown colour. That's the worst of them all, I reckon, that plant there. Let me show you this. That's from bad soil. So we're still on the topic of Septoria leaf spot, but if we're walking past these ones, look at that, new growth. All right, all I've done is applied Eco Butch and Liquid Gold on these. 2 applications since we first spotted the problem, and water. That's all we can do, and it's really bad soil. I've got to work on it. And there's no disease here either, folks, on these tomato plants. They're looking really healthy, so there's no Septoria leaf spot on here. Now for number 2, Fusarium Wilt. Now that is a really nasty virus. It lives in the soil, it's soil borne, so basically it shuts down the plant's vascular system. Now it goes through the roots system, the roots go a discoloured colour, yellow brown, they shut down, then the whole plant starts to wilt. On a hot day, or on a warm to hot day, your plant can literally wilt and never recover from that. So that's Fusarium Wilt, and it can happen over 2 or 3 days. Once you notice that you can't do anything to control it, there's no fungicide available or chemical you can use to control it. All it is basically get disease-resistant strain hybrid plants if you want to go down that path, or don't plant in that garden bed for at least 2 years, maybe 3 years. Turn the soil over because it loves the tomato plants. No tomato plants, it's gone. Number 3 is Mosaic virus. Now that is a difficult disease to control and even pick. Your plants start to wilt and they almost shrivel up a little bit on the leaves. They almost look like a fern. And that basically reduces the plant's ability to grow, produce quality fruit as well. It spreads really easily as well, so it can hibernate over winter, go dormant, that is, in the soil, and just by touching the soil and touching the plant you spread it that easily. So Mosaic virus, unlike what you see here, discoloration, which is early blight, Mosaic virus, you basically have to cut the plants and throw them out. It's no point keeping those plants or even keeping seed from those plants. Now number 4, early blight, and that's the discoloration of the leaves, quite obvious with the brown and yellow patches, and you have these sort of angular sunken spots that are occurring. Now that starts off on the older leaves or the bottom leaves of the tomato plant. So if you've got hot weather with a lot of rain, which we've had, will cause early blight to develop. Now that can work its way back to the stem. You'll start to get these little sunken spots on the stem and eventually kill the plant off. Not completely, but enough so that it doesn't produce any quality fruit. You need to remove these leaves and burn them. You can't compost. Any of these diseases are not to be composted as a foliage that is all plant. Burn them, discard them, put them in a bag, plastic bag, and solarize them if you need to. Spraying the plants as well. You can use a bluestone copper sulfate fungicide spray if you like. I haven't sprayed these plants, but you remember these plants have gone to hell and back because of the soil. We've had a bad batch. Like the other ones we saw earlier are coming good in the raised bed, so are these. Maybe not as fast or as good as the other ones, but at least they have shown a positive recovery. I know they look like they're wilting, but they've actually quite firm, quite solid on the stem as well. So we're going to persist with these. If you've got a disease in your garden, cut it out. First point of reference and action is to remove it by cutting. Second, spraying, burn it, discard it in a plastic bag, but do not put it in your compost bin. Now, number 5, bacteria spots. Basically, all the diseases that I've mentioned, all our mishandling, irregular watering, our dehydration, over-fertilizing, high humidity, all those will affect your plants. So what you need to do is go out there every day, remove the leaves by printing them off and put it in a plastic bag and solarize it or otherwise burn it. And if you're going to do anything in your garden, keep it natural, keep it safe, and keep your tools clean as well. Check out our website, vasili'sgarden.com, for some great products and tips and ideas. From me, Vasili, Barisi.